Hey family, this is MC Fire coming at you again with another trading video covering Wednesday, December 18th. So, hey guys, thank you for joining us. Let's dive straight in. Essentially, if you've been watching the channel, or just financial news in general, you understand that today is Wednesday. And what does that mean? Jerome Powell, the emperor himself, will be speaking. And essentially, the analysts are assuming that he's going to cut rates. There's like a 97% chance that the analysts are saying that the rates will be cut today. So if you're a short-term trader, look for extended volatility. Look for a lot of whipsaw, maybe you call it rug pull whipsaw, whatever you want to call it, but it is going to probably happen today. I don't think the market has priced that in yet. I think there's a lot more room to grow. We are in the fourth quarter, but first quarter is right around the corner. So just kind of keep that in mind in financial news. That's the biggest thing spoken today. So if you're a short-term trader and you can't handle like high volatility, you don't have the speed or maybe even the stomach, maybe you want to sit this one out because you probably have already made money the last 3 weeks in something else. So look out for that. Just so you're tracking, we did. There's a couple of plays that we did take profits. ABGO a couple of days ago, we've rolled this for like 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up, taking profits all the way up. So massive moves there. Also, ED locked in some profits there a couple of days ago on the roll, and it's actually continuing to the downside. This is on the daily. So nice rally down, new defined downtrend. This is what we're kind of talking about, shorting the rip. With the high confirmation of follow through there, and then it's continuing down also. So we took profits there, 1, 2 times, and maybe get some more. You got J&J, same story there. New downtrend rip, nice setup there. Follow through is immense. Now there might be an opportunity for us to go ahead and just close this out. If you see bouncing off rotational lows there, so the market has respected that level quite a few times, and it could be a good idea to make a decision. I guess my job with the education, right? Because this is an educational channel. This is not financial advice, but for me, defense wins games, offense wins tickets. So what does that mean? With your rules, I'm going to lay out very clear and defined rules for protection, how to protect yourself, and what the risks are, right? Your job is develop as a trader. So as you develop as a trader, taking profits, I leave at your discretion, right? You might take profits at 3 ATR. You might take profits at lows. You might take profits at the first sign of you wanting to take profits. That is kind of where you develop as a trader. Like most traders develop with time in the markets, time on charts. So you're going to get that. That's really how you're going to work that trader muscle. But essentially, my job is to tell you, hey, these are the defined rules to protect yourself, like your stop loss, risk management, and proper entry triggers. And once you're in profit, that's kind of up to you. That's kind of your opportunity. Like, oh wow, I'm in profit. Let me tweak what I need to do, right? But my job is just to help you win at this game, which is primarily defense. Defense wins games. Offense sells tickets. So it's kind of up to you on what you want to do. So Johnson & Johnson, you see here, it's right here. I went on and said, I'm going to hold it. If it bounces, okay. But, it could continue to the downside. So this is kind of where you get the flexibility to kind of map your own course, so to speak. We also took profits on the Qs. Very clear setups all the way up. If you look back on the Qs, very defined uptrends. Buys here, buys here. There are actually a couple opportunities on this drop where you kind of get peekabooed in, but you more than make up for those on the ways up, right? For sure, absolutely on the ways up. And then clear defined triggers there, 1, 2, and then 3. We call it the last one. we're already pretty locked in the queues. We've been locked in the queues essentially for like the last 2 years. So I'm not tripping about catching and missing queue moves, really. But with the options play around relative highs, 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls, kind of at relative or all-time highs. So shout out to us for that. New plays. We got into MU the other day. Went on and took this play. It has since kind of pushed a little bit and thrown a new setup candle. So if we could see a kind of a cross above that level there. Let me zoom in for you guys. So if we can get above the 110.59 level, could be a position to add on. Right, the first one's here with a stop out, stop out below the low of the setup candle, kind of respecting all of my buyers here. And then here could be an opportunity to add. Okay, my first sign of danger is kind of short, but I'm hoping that we could see if we could throw it on here. I'm hoping that we're going to throw on the squeeze just to see if there's a squeeze in play. There might be. Shout out to John Carter and his squeeze. Yeah, so there is a squeeze actually in play here. So it actually fired kind of a day like today. So our system had a little alpha on the squeeze even. We got in essentially front running the squeeze before it fired. It's saying that the squeeze is fired, so we're looking for it to kind of really run through. Squeezes are very, very powerful. Essentially, it's clocking low volatility. Stocks don't like to stay super low volatile for very long, but catching those momentary pauses in uptrends or downtrends before they continuation is actually a really good time to get in for a couple of reasons. Number one, it gives you time to frame your trade properly. Number two, at periods of low volatility, the premiums for your options are going to be lower. So it's like getting in on the cheap and then getting in on the early, not the late, not when it's already moved and the premiums are super high. That's kind of when you want to take profits. So a little alpha, like a day alpha on the squeeze, but the squeeze is still in play and actually has now shown an indication of fire. Essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 day squeeze there. So shout out to MU. You also got corn. Corn kind of peekabooed us on the play. It kind of it did peekaboo us. I was mobile, so I put it on, and then as it broke the low, I took it off. What's so crazy is once I took it off, I noticed that then after I took it off, it was in play. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's the kind of day we're gonna have on corn. Pull that up there. So it's now since kind of pushing back up a little bit. So I would say for this, 3 strikes you're out. If you kind of peekaboo me a couple times, yeah, that's fine. I could just go back and get back in. But after the third time, it's you're on my naughty list, so to speak, and don't look to do business with you anymore. So just I'm not super superstitious, but it just as a point. That's how I move. I don't know what it is. Also XLE, or excuse me, XEL, looking to take that also potentially to the upside there with the cross above. There, we are taking some heat on it though. A lot of these sometimes you get entry and you do take some heat out the gate. So we took some heat out the gate, but we respecting all our buyers. So we have a lot more heat to give down to 67.02. If it goes below that, we're done. Easy day. And then we move on. Also took a additional buy in BA. So a couple of days ago, with a new uptrend, we went on after it pushed, kind of pushed to the downside. We went on and took a kind of a bounce trade there, pushed to the downside, and then as it let me zoom in here. As it showed signs that it wanted to respect that level slightly, we were like, hey, okay, if you're gonna push down and push back up, I'll go ahead and take the buy. With a nice juicy follow through, actually, would have been a really good day trade, but went on and took the add-on really for a long-term buy and hold for Boeing. Bad news in this instance is good news. So what do I mean? If we're looking on the weeklies, Boeing, right, has had a lot of bad news attached to the stock, but it's one of three. It's one of three airplane manufacturers. So in defense, commercial air, what have you. So at this level, these levels, looking to want to be a buyer long term in Boeing and just accept the risk. So essentially, I have a buy bias, a massive sell off here. But essentially, we're looking to at least see it get back up to pivot highs at 262. So this is a long term, like a strategic play, super buy and hold. So don't take this as this is a day trade or anything like that. This is something we're putting in our portfolio for the long term, looking to average and buy more, add more. Right. Boeing is, I think, the only airplane manufacturer. There are some other defense contractors, but for commercial air, Boeing has the lion's share, right? So we're looking to get that. Cisco. Okay, so we've got Cisco as well, but we got it for the butterfly. Okay, so we'll go back to the daily here. So Cisco for the butterfly here. It is a little bit of a the play is there, but essentially the butterfly kind of peekabooed in our lower strike yesterday. Actually, just shy, just shy of my alert, like right here. So shout out to us. It happens. It happens a lot more frequently than you guys think, but just shy of our kind of peekaboo above our 59 level, which is our lower buy, and a central. I think the central strikes. The sell strikes are at 60, and then the third buy is at 61. So that's my butterfly. That's the width of it with the center strike here. Not too big, but I just kind of was hoping that it gets up here within the week. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, butterflies are super cheap for that reason. We can actually look at the butterfly profile probably in the Sunday video just for learning. But let's get into the plays for today. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna hide the squeeze here. Just hide it. It's good. It's a good tool to have, right? Good tool to have on your chart. But we don't like to clutter up our charts. We like to have nice, clean charts. Yep, nice, clean and simple is effective. So we'll start at the top and work our way down there. Adobe. Look for Adobe kind of on the rotation. I'm not really necessarily seeing Adobe as a long-term buy and hold, but if you want to hold it for the rotation, like if it gets down to this level, awesome. That's kind of what we're hoping to do, is it retest this potential zone, and you take a longer-term buy once you get a trigger. Right, that's kind of the idea for Adobe. ADP is definitely a potential buy, right? So you have ADP here. If you get across above 298.07, definitely look to take the buy. It is actually in good frame because from a weekly pivot level, if it breaks below that, that's kind of already hitting your stop loss anyway. So you can bend the rule of if it goes below the low of 294.91 to bend it to if it breaks the 294.45 level, but that is about the only bend that you give, right? And especially with a 2-bar professional, for sure. AVGO, kind of already talked about that. Taking profits is kind of pulling back. It's extended, guys. So yes, don't catch FOMO. If you want to get the stock, let it come down and pick you up. It's already kind of started to do that. If you take a look here, it's coming down and it's picking you up. This is ABGO. This is what it did, I believe, yesterday, or not yesterday. Snap. Let me scroll out. It did something kind of close to it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Close but not same, right? This is what it did yesterday. So there were some opportunities to get in AVGO. That's on the 10-minute on the left, and on the right is the I like to use the 2-minute, so it's my own flavor there. But massive sell-off, actually an opportunity to get into the downside there, knowing that the 10-minute was negative. So it works kind of on the 2-minute as well. So it's not just something that only works on the weekly, right? I use a 10-minute chart to kind of chart. It's almost like my weekly to chart my direction to the downside. You're in a downtrend here, 2 moving averages to confirm that. Well, 3 moving averages to confirm that actually. And then you see a lot of buying pressure here, starts crossing below those, and then you take the sell. Boom, there's one. Have another opportunity here. Boom, there's two with nice follow through. And I'm looking to take 2 ATR, but I didn't really get down there. There were some reversal candles kind of setting up there, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, but it was a good time if you would have, did ABGO that way. You also have just this one is pretty crisp. So, pretty extended. Excuse me. Yeah, it's up there in the 3 ATR territory. There is a setup candle up there. We'll respect it, but essentially, not. I wouldn't take this play personally, but it's just good to know that it's up there. We already talked about BA. CB is another one that we're kind of eyeing specifically to the downside. New trend. I like more rip on my new downtrend. This is not exactly something that I would necessarily lock in, other than the fact that it's already broken this rotational level. So if I'm marking up the charts here, right, the first sign of danger is here at this pivot for me. So if it's looking to complete the rotation, it's looking to complete it down to around there, and then that's kind of where I would want to kind of assess it. So if you want a downside play, and we need some to balance out things, if it breaks below the low here at 272.55, you can go ahead and look to be a short seller with my target being 262.55, right? Doesn't mean it necessarily has to get down there. The market will kind of tell us what buyers and sellers are doing. But what would my stop loss be? Respecting all of my buyers there. I could be a 2-bar professional and say about the where I would want to call it. So there you go. Yeah, CSCO. CSCO also is looking like a buy. Now CSCO is weird. CSCO is looking like a buy, so I put a butterfly on it. We kind of already talked about CSCO. DHI here. New downtrend actually would have been, we actually put an order in for that, never got filled. A gap, didn't want to chase it. Something about me is it's like, yeah, it's still in play, but I just don't want to chase it. If I don't get that perfect entry, man, I am like super stickler. So it gapped up through that. It's in a downtrend, new downtrend. Through the setup candle there would have been a nice stop out, nice risk management, give it some wiggle room, and it just kept going. These are definitely blowout candle number 1, blowout candle number 2. So shout out to DHI. If you have it, shout out to you. Not much going on Disney here at highs. EA, looking good for EA. A lot of selling pressure here over the previous week. I'd be a little cognizant of taking the buy here. You do have this rotational zone here, or a pivot zone here. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's another one of those, if you enter in a stop loss, it's a bend, don't break. You could stop out here, or you could say, yeah, if it gets down, breaks the 153.5 level, I'm gonna let it go. So EA is there in play. Not much kind of going on ELV. It's in a downtrend, extended downtrend. The play was already in effect way back here, and you actually did not have an opportunity to get into this play. So if you get in here, you kind of stopped out, and then even then after break, there was like a gap. So and then at this point it's pretty extended, So yeah, the setup work, yeah, absolutely. The problem is the entry was after hours, and you probably wouldn't have got an opportunity to get in. ETN, right? Nice, very nice setup. Nice uptrend with very juicy setup there. So we can get across above in this guy. We'll look to take the buy with a stop out at the low. GSI, similar story. Very nice pushback into the wave. Looking to take the short if it crosses below the low at 64.8, with a first sign of danger at 62. So not that much. It's essentially a 1.5 to 1 risk to reward. But taking it down to the rotation, it really respects its rotational zone. So this, I mean, I almost would want to take it off at that level because how much it rotates there. Just keep that in mind and take the buy almost by bias with that much bounce. Yeah, Google in the stratosphere here, just for Google, it's actually, I would look for it more for the downside, right? So if it's extended and the market starts pricing in the rate cut and you start seeing it start falling, a reversion to the mean trade actually wouldn't be that bad. Sometimes reversion to the mean trades on Google after it's extended for multiple weeks, it might drop multiple weeks. So um, it's looking good there, but just watch some downside risk. Probably won't take the downside. I'm looking for more opportune setups. Lynn, nothing much here. It's extended, so MasterCard. Same thing, a little extended, nothing much to have note there. But MO though, looking kind of juicy. So I really like these sharp pullbacks that MO has. And so if we can get some sort of play here, that'd be pretty sweet. In Ultra, looking to just kind of target back to the highs there, maybe for a couple weeks. It's had about 3 weeks of a break, 3 weeks of selling. So if we can get a cross above, that'd be really, really nice. But watch out for this fair value gap too, right? If it's going back to fill that'd be interesting. Now, core, absolutely getting hammered. Now, we had a very nice play here on the core. There was an opportunity to get in about a couple weeks later for here. Would have been a nice. You would have caught that whole move almost. I think you probably would have had to roll at some point like here or here. But in the core, nothing really much. It's super extended. These are blowout candles, right? It's about to time to end the move. OMC, same thing, really extended. Oracle, same thing, kind of extended, but only in this environment though. Oracle, looking kind of bullish, right? You're in power trend, you're in a very strong defined uptrend. If you see a massive candle like this and it trades above that, it could really push. So something to keep in mind though. Something to keep in mind. The options on this are not cheap. So if you pass it, I wouldn't feel bad, right? PH here, Parker, looking good. We're gonna walk our stop losses or our entries down on Parker. And that's the cool thing about this. You're just kind of tracking it. Each one of these candles is gonna notify me, hey, walk it down if it's there, and you can see if there starts to be a change here, that'd be sweet. But you're extending, you're kind of extending past the. You're gonna be entering past that the day's high or yesterday's high. Sorry guys, the weather here is nasty, man. It's been raining for like 4 days straight, so don't go outside. But yeah, if we yesterday's high get an entry there, that'd be awesome. So let's go look at what we have. STZ. So what's going on there? STZ trades below the low on GSI and APX. GIS. Let's take a look at that. Yep. Pretty interesting. So we put an alert for it to cross below the low, and it gapped. It gapped below the low. So that is earnings in play there. You would have made a hefty little profit there on GIS, but no opportunity to get in. Don't worry, guys. We have a couple of these in plays kind of written down, so we're gonna kind of go from where we kind of left off. So GIS was already on the in plays, and we'll continue. We had EA, XEL, EXC, or E, this guy right here. Cross above here, really nice for Ecolabs. If we get that play, let's pop over to the Qs to kind of see what they're doing. They are slightly selling off. So this kind of what we told you guys is the Qs have the ability to rotate at this point because they are really extended. Qs, the SPY, all of it has the ability to rotate at this level. So what could we be looking at as regards to rotation? Well, as you can see here, ties. So I would even look for it to rotate down to 516. That is very reasonable. And we've already taken profits on the leg up. So if you look to hedge, I would almost hedge at break of 550, 532, 532.9. 532.9 is where you could look to hedge. If it breaks 532.9, definitely look to see, okay, I hedge down to rotation. That's a good play for there. If you're on SPY, very similar. Given the fact that the relative strength in the SPY, I would look to hedge a break of rotation here. So if it breaks this level, hedge on the rotation for SPY. Sweet. Moving on here, we'll take a look at some other stuff. So we have ELC, Ecolabs, I believe. Yep, that's in play. Kind of hitting this rotational, pinging off this rotational zone for today. But if it gets above here in the uptrend, we want to be a buyer. Actually, I think it's actually starting to send a downtrend. So the market's giving us new information. We'll mark it as, hey, this is starting to set up for a downtrend. And we'll mark it accordingly. Boom. So we'll switch the strategy up accordingly. You're seeing it in real time, right? ETN. Right. I think we kind of went over ETN there. If it crosses above there, we'll look to buy. We'll stop out at the low. Easy day. Oh, we talked about Oracle. I think we talked about PH. Yeah, we talked about all those. T-Mobile. The bane of my existence. TMUS. So still, so we went on and took the stop out on T-Mobile. FYI, we got the buy here, and it was going to be a stop out at the low there, which it crossed. Really ramped down to the downside, and we protected ourselves from all of that. So that's kind of why we kind of keep our hard rules there. If I would have held through that, that would have been a disaster. So we went on and cut it short. Shout out to us, and then it cranked down to the downside, giving us probably a more opportunity to buy T-Mobile for later in the future if it kind of gives us what we want there. So we're just tracking T-Mobile for an entry now, because as we got our stop hit, and we just kind of move on from there. United Health has sold off pretty considerably. We're looking for a rotational setup, actually buy biased. If it crosses above here, with a stop out of the low, even though the absolute bad news, I mean, it sold off essentially from 630 all the way down to the 400s. So we definitely, I don't think the fundamentals for the company have changed as of late too much. That's something that we could probably look at in the Sunday video. But the reality is if we get an entry, we'll take that and a stop out of the low there for this one, right? Yeah, it's overvalued essentially, but that is a massive sell-off. So if we can get some kind of setup there, that'd be sweet. We kind of got a setup here on the trend change previously to start the rally, so it would have been nice to be in that. Really, that run took no prisoners from the beginning, gave you a nice opportunity to get in profits. You take the roll, and then it just kind of doesn't stop from there. So you would have ran off like a bandit on UNH. But essentially here, looking to kind of do the same thing. If buyers like this level, and it's tested it several times throughout its history, if buyers do like that level, cool. If they don't, it's looking to get down to the 450s, 456 roughly. So don't mind being a buyer in a buy bias when you have a rotation like that. So we'll go to waste management. Waste management looking like a whole snack. If we can get, there it is, right? So I'll go ahead and I'll show you that now. Right, there it is. So we'll take the, let's do this. Okay, we'll go individual. We are in UNH. We'll get it for 30 days. We'll get a buy. This is on the calls line, so we'll do a 50-20. Okay, 50-20. And I think we have enough. We probably have enough, so we'll see if we have enough. It'll tell us if we do or don't. Okay, so we went on and got the vertical for that, and then it might peekaboo us in, which is fine. If we kind of already know what we want to do, we'll take that buy there, and then maybe we can catch these guys slipping. Change it green. I put all this in just kind of so I can know, and then stop out at the low. If it breaks the low, we'll let it go. It's very simple. Okay. If it marks below this level, I don't know why it triggered automatically. That's very weird. Cool. And then we'll go back over to MU. So that just happened. Uber is at or above. We'll take a look at Uber. You guys are getting to see me trade live for free. Yeah. Boom. Kind of, this isn't a downtrend. I just wanted to know, like, this is a rotational play for Uber. If you take that, it'd be a stop out at the low there. But yeah, could be a nice juicy rotational away from the Qs. It's kind of what we're looking to do. But I'm more looking to take the add-on to MU. I'm going to prioritize that uptrend there for the add. So we're going to actually take another 50-20 buy here. Boom. For the add. If we have enough. I don't think we do. Oh, we do. Nice. Okay, awesome. So our add is on MQ or MU, excuse me. Now I treat the ads independent of like independent trades. So for the first one, I respect all my buyers, but for the second one, same thing. It would be a stop out of the low, no more than a 2-bar professional. I'll go ahead and be the 2-bar professional here. I just treat them independent. And with this ad, definitely targeting. I have a way higher target zone, obviously, for this one. So my my profit targets are a little, let's say, first sign of danger is here. First sign of pivot danger is right there. There we go. Cool. So that's my new target. For kind of taking profits on MU. Unbalanced volumes actually upticked quite considerably. So with this setup, hopefully, and then you have also earnings. So earnings could give us a volatility squeeze there, but already pushing for the MU. So good look there. We'll go back to Uber, just kind of see like how it's moving and shaking. Because if you look back, right, massive sell-off, but once you start getting, this was at earnings too, so you almost can't even count it. But post-earnings, massive shoot to the moon there. So no earnings, but it could be a catalyst if it breaks above here, get a nice juicy stacked short squeeze. So we'll put that for Uber if it gets above there, could take the rotational play. Just kind of into the mean there, into the 21. I'd want to see a little bit more on that one if we were going to take it. Continuing on, we already talked about, I believe, waste management. We'll go to XLC. It is extended though, but as you can see, kind of pulling back. So this actually could be the start of the retracement to the mean. Just keep that in mind. Not really looking to take this play. You should already be in XLC for the long call, right? The opportunity to get in XLC was essentially a year ago on the trend change, as well as in this rotational zone. That would have actually been really good. You should rotational buy here, boom, boom, and boom. You also could have took a dip buy there and a couple other dip buys on XLC. So not looking to be a buyer here when you see opportunities like this. You got to think, like, this opportunity happened after this massive rip. So look for it to do something similar. Like, this gets away quite often. And when it gets away, it eventually pulls back. So look for it to pull back. It is extended. It's way outside of 3 ATR. What's high can go higher, but within reason. Okay. We might have already talked about some of these because I don't have the list right here. But yeah, we did talk about CB. The GSI, Google, I think we talked about Lin as well. LIN. So, yeah, it's extended though. LIN is extended to the downside. It's in a downtrend. Opportunity to buy that. Would have got peekabooed in, stopped out, and then it still ended up failing. So these are more like blowout candles. I think I already said that. The core. We might have already talked about the core, but we're going to cover it briefly. Core took profits, another opportunity, a nice follow on. Pfizer is extended, PFE. Yeah, it's already extended to the downside. So if we can get a but really it's got a bounce risk. So that's really also something else you got to take into mind too. If you're a trader or Pfizer, you've got this bounce level here. So the ability for it to complete rotation is actually extremely high on the double bounce. And as you can see here, yesterday we got a momentum setup. We got a setup to the upside there. So it's kind of rotating here and a setup to the upside. It could be in a squeeze. Actually, this is a good opportunity to put the squeeze back on just to take a peek. You gotta apply that there. Yeah, so there is a squeeze in play. So if it pops, you could see it start to rally that rotation there. Just wanted to see if there was a squeeze. STZ. Yep. It's looking to the downside, right? It's not super extended. Kind of want to get it more in the wave, but you know, this will do. So it did actually break to the downside, but has since retraced. So we'll say it like this: if you break to the downside, because that's a peekaboo, it'll peek you in, and then it'll pull back almost immediately. So if you go back below again, it's essentially a double break. It'll break, go back up, and then if it breaks again, then you could look to take that because you know, it broke, and then now the market really wants to test to see if it'll actually break. See, it tapped in the morning, it goes up. If it comes down again, that is really good. That's why peekaboos over on this channel, we call them like that, because it's like hoo, and then it's gone, right? I think we talked about Adobe and XLE. So yeah, guys, I think we pretty much covered everything. So you guys saw the ad on an MU. This one is already kind of looking pretty good and kind of pushing as it stands right now. And with the ad, hopefully we get a considerable follow through. Really bullish right here, right? Nice double green on the 10-minute double moving average cloud there. So hopefully we see this play developed in the tech sector as one of the more bullish setups. And then it really pushes as people unwind their positions from here and even here, if they haven't already. So, and then you got earnings. So if we can, hopefully we get a nice juicy gap for earnings. Let's see when the earnings actually is. Is it in the morning? Okay, it's at the close of business today. So if earnings are good, pray earnings are good, so it can just gap and go, Lord willing. But yeah, you're seeing it real time. Thanks, guys. You guys have a wonderful day. Sorry about my voice. A little bit under the weather. But have a good day and goodbye.